What's going on, Rotogrinders? Dean here. It's Dean 7904. If you want to get all technical, I mean, it's 5:30 on the East Coast, 2:30 West Coast, 4:30 Tennessee time. Of course, that means it's time for the flagship show here at Rotogrinders. It is called Grinderslive. Joining me today, it's Kid Yahoo, Curtis. What's up, Curtis? How's Monday treating you?
Monday's been pretty uneventful, as I told you pre-show. And unlike you, I didn't get to get my corrected lenses today. You have an optometry appointment. What was it? What'd you do?
Oh, it was very exciting. Yeah, and I had an amazing doctor too. I was super impressed. I was saying before a show, I might even actually write a positive review. I know most people are inspired to write positive reviews if a negative things happens, of course. But yeah, I got to see my retina, like a close-up picture of that. Apparently, there's no glaucoma in there, which is good. Happy to hear that. I don't have new glasses just yet, but that is the hope we're gonna get it in a couple of days. You know how remember LensCrafter? Remember the whole thing used to be about an hour. Remember this? Yeah, we have it ready in about an hour. Remember that whole gimmick?
I've never needed glasses, so I've never
play
really
along though. Like you've seen commercials before, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
They used to say their whole gimmick was they're ready in about an hour. Now they're like, yeah, they're ready in about 2 weeks. The technology's gone backwards. Like what happened to about an hour? It's 2 weeks now. So I'm trying to get it pushed up to 2 days. It's a whole ordeal that people don't care about. What's up, chat? Say hello to chat. Do like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Fire off some questions as well. Myself and Curtis will be happy to answer some baseball-related questions or eyeglass-related questions or lens, whatever you guys have on your mind. Devin, our multitasking producer, is going to be all over that. He's going to be compiling those questions. Join the show like the last 15 minutes or so, give or take. Of course, we take you guys over. If you're premium members, take you guys over to Crunch Time, which bridges right to Lock Time. Basketball season's regular season's over, so now it's just baseball. As far as Crunch Time, we got Cheese is Good, two-time millionaire winner, along with Tuttle, Mr. Tuttle, and chief meteorologist Kevin Roth, taking you guys all up to Lock as far as what's going down there. Hey, if you guys want premium, if you're not premium members, why not get yourself a premium for one sport or a la carte? Get all the sports with the exception of NASCAR. $10 off the first month. Link is in chat. Yeah, so I don't know. It was thrown off. I was thrown off that the LensCrafters dumped the idea of 1 hour. I guess 1 hour is just too fast is the problem. They said it wasn't efficient enough or something like that. So, yeah. I
have a question. So since we're chief meteorologists, we just talked about this pre-show. Do we have at RG, am I missing out? Do we have a team of meteorologists?
Oh no, it's just, he covers the whole gamut. He's the chief meteorologist. It's like Miss America. If Miss America can't go for whatever reason, they have like it's just Roth or nobody else. I think there used to be David Walter, who was like a friend of us. I don't know if he's still
friend of Devin. I think a friend of Devin's.
I think he was Roth's friend.
Oh no, friend of Roth's. Okay, correct. Sorry.
That would make sense.
I was thinking of the other producer that was a friend of Devin's.
Oh wow, we're going way back. I think that's an old school thought. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's either Roth or nothing. And you were talking. You're working on something with Dew Point, are you not?
Well, I've been trying to perfect this for years now, Dean. It's my patented Dew Point system. It still has patent pending.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been launched yet. We're still in beta, but eventually it'll come out.
Something tells me you're going to be in beta for a while or indefinitely, or probably forever. I'm not that I'm not rooting for you, but I don't think this is actually going to happen for you, unfortunately.
Well, that just might add a little fuel to the fire. And
if you need my inspiration to get you to close this out, you're already in trouble, man. Baseball tonight. It's a short one, 8-gamer. So pretty clear cut, as far as I can tell. Worth noting, Jose Abreu not playing baseball tonight. He was probably, the White Sox, one of the better stacks people are looking at least I was looking at. He's not playing baseball. That certainly shuffles up that White Sox stack. And Stanton is not available too. So two of the big boppers on two of the better stacks are not playing baseball this evening. does change things to some degree. But this slate, at least from what I can tell, is an arms slate. The arms are really good, and the really good arms are really good. Would you agree with that assessment?
I would. I think it's a really solid pitching slate. I don't think there's any massive standout offense spots. I think there's good spots like the Yankees, like you said. I think the White Sox do take a hit, like you said, but they are now cheaper stack that's going to be easy to do a full stack of the White Sox and with those stud pitching. So yeah, I think it's all about stacks and your high end pitching tonight. Maybe a couple of lower guys have some big outings though. But one of them who I love and who I might just think might score the most on the slate, will be a hot take of mine, is going to be pretty chalky on DK.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm pretty good at context clues, Kirk Keys. Do you want to start there? Because I know what you're talking about.
Of course you do.
It's got to be Kikuchi, right?
Of course it is. So I love Kikuchi tonight. I mean, first of all, the matchup, we know. So if you just pull up against left-handed pitching, Detroit, 28.4% K percentage. Kikuchi has really turned things on, and he's been a guy that's been working on his velocity for a while. And, his velocity has really cranked up throughout when in his good periods. And if you look at the April to May velocity increase, he's right up there at the top of the league for velocity increase average. He's averaging almost in between 96, 97 now. And his swinging strike rate in this last month has gone up from 11.9% in April to 16.6% in May. So far. And it's a function of velocity and matchup. And that's what it is tonight. He's got the matchup against Detroit. He's cheap. So that's the only problem. I wish he was a little bit more expensive because I would really like to have him be kind of a low owned play. But, I think that there's going to be a ton of ownership on Darvish, on Buehler with Cole anyway. So yes, he's going to get a lot of ownership, but he's still worth playing to me.
Yeah, I have the plate IQ pulled up here. Kikuchi versus Detroit. The lineup just broke, but it hasn't officially translated over to plate IQ. It takes a couple minutes or so for that transition. Grossman, Mouthwash, Jonathan Scope, Candelario, Miggy Cabrera, the ghost of Miggy Cabrera, Goodrum, Ramos, Haas. Is that Haas? I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name. And I was just going on a rant before, pre-show, about not knowing how to pronounce people's names. But I've never seen this guy's name before. Haas?
No, it's Hayes. They call him Hayes. Eric Hayes.
Is it?
I'm surprised you don't know that. Yeah.
You're saying it with confidence. I believe you.
Yeah, no, it is.
You're selling it.
It's correct.
The next guy
I played him last week. He was a nice 2K punt.
I'm certain the next guy's name is Jones. That I got. I'm all over that. And then there's a Rogers as far as the lineup. And
no, yeah. It's Roger.
Is he French?
Yeah.
Yeah. The point of the story here is that these dudes, like you said, they strike out a ton. 30% strikeout rate since 2019, if you kind of back it up against the average left-hander. And Kikuchi is in good form, like you talked about. Even in tough matchup last time out versus the Dodgers, 11 strikeouts, 7 versus Baltimore, sure, but then 7 versus Houston, 3 solid outings in a row. Got a hiccup there at Boston. You can forgive that. Good against Minnesota earlier in the year, good against San Fran earlier in the year as well, too. And as an SB2 on DK makes a ton of sense. You can play him on FanDuel as well if you want to spend up on some bats. Probably not what I'm going to do. Full disclosure, only making like 2 lineups tonight on each site because I can't stick around all the way to lock. I got things to do, Kirk D's. But so only 2 lineups for me. We're working backwards. We kind of buried the lead. How do you not play Garrett Cole, especially on DK, where you get that double barrel and you can save some salary as far as Kikuchi and get the best of both worlds of arms and bats? FanDuel makes it, at least it's a conversation at FanDuel because there's a difference in price and there's pretty good step downs, which we'll get to. But Garrett Cole and all his strikeouts versus Texas, who strikes out a ton. Do we know if the roof is open or closed yet? I looked earlier and the guy did not tweet out. There's that one guy. And talk to me about Garrett Cole as I try to find this tweet.
Well, he's the clear high upside best pitcher on the slate. We have a monster track record of him this season. He's over a 40% K percentage, almost 41%. Swinging strike rate is massive at almost 16%, 35.9% CSW. Everything is elite, and his walks 1.6%. I mean, that is ridiculous. Him and Walker Buehler have just elite command, right? So that should solve those. make sure you don't have those bad innings where the walks pile up, and because he can give up a solo shot. He will give up a homer, especially to some left-handed batters occasionally. And Joey Gallo, I think, has some nice BVP against him. I know Chop is probably playing Joey Gallo tonight. I'll tell you that much. But anyways,
I'll stop you there because I tweeted this out earlier today, and I was doing some research, and I thought it was interesting. And we can have the conversation now if you want. I think tonight's the night. It's a short slate. Gallo's not that expensive, and he can be, a Serrano. He can do it on his own. I think you can play both Cole and Gallo in the same lineup. I think that's doable. I know a lot of people don't like doing that, but here's the BBP, right? He has 22 official at-bats. He walked twice. Let's not talk about that. 22 official at-bats for Joey Gallo. How many of those 22 at-bats ended in a strikeout or a homer?
20.
Yeah. Do you know the breakdown?
No, probably 16. Like 5 and 15 or something.
16 and 4. Yeah. I mean, it's a homer, it's a strikeout. And yeah, I think you can play them together. I don't think people are going to play Gallo at all and understand why, but he's not that expensive. He's got plenty of pop. By the way, I did take the time to look here. The roof will be closed. So that's a positive ballpark shift as well. We know the roof closed in Texas, of course, is better for pitching. Yeah. That's the one way to get to Cole is lefty power, and they do have some lefty power in that Texas side, and it's an interesting idea to go that route of playing, or even like a little mini stack of playing some of the lefty power bats. If you're not playing Cole, we talk about some options, talk about some more as far as some pitchers, but just kind of throwing some tournament thoughts out there. Calhoun's a lefty leading off, Nate Lowe, and then Gallo, and then they have Dahl as well too. So there is some lefty power, and that's the best way to get to Cole via the homer on the left hand side. But if you're not playing Cole, again, absolutely fabulous, ton of strikeouts, nice ballpark for him. Great, he can go 7, 8, 9 innings depending on. Talk to me about Yu Darvish.
The clear number 2. Well, not the clear. He and Walker Buehler are neck and neck for the clear number 2s. If you go by this season's numbers, you got a higher strikeout rate with Yu Darvish, 31%. I mean, we know who this guy is. He's unbelievable. He gets the Rockies on the road, right? That's a matchup we want. It's about as safe as massive matchup as you can get. So should be a good matchup for strikeouts. You get the pitcher, and there's just not much of a threat there when they're outside of course. So you have to like you tonight. I think he can go toe to toe. I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all if he's the highest scoring pitcher on the slate, but Cole obviously deserves a number 1.
Yeah, and then number 3, the Dodgers, Walker Buehler against an Arizona lineup that is still, without Christian Walker. It's still without Ketel Marte, who should be back soon. And I think it's missing a third piece. I can't remember on the top of my head, but Domingo Leyba is batting 5th tonight for Arizona. Should I know who he is? I'm not sure if I know who Domingo.
It's Leyba.
Oh, no, that's true. You're saying with confidence, but I still don't believe you. I'm not sure if you're certain. Arizona's got a team total under 3 as well, for what it's worth. Buehler's the guy that's probably not going to go 7, 8, or 9, but he's going to go 6 or 7, probably 6 or 7, fairly strong as well. The price on FanDuel, you can make that work. On DK, you can make that work as far as double barrel if you want to start there and pass on Cole. Sure, I suppose. I still think Cole is the clear best, not even a conversation on DK. FanDuel's more of a conversation, but talk to me about Buehler. And the thing is, there's Buehler, and there's still a bunch of other guys that I think are kind of interesting, which is why when we get to the hitters, I'm like, well, I guess you could play this guy, and I guess you could play that guy, but I don't love a lot.
I mean, Buehler's an awesome play too. So you're going to hear when people talk about Buehler, you'll hear that, well, Arizona doesn't strike out much, but I find nothing in this lineup intimidating whatsoever. You get the pitcher spot, so that's an extra bonus. And he always has pitched better at home anyway. Buehler, he's got decent home splits. I mean, this guy's an ace. This is another guy with track record. It's nice to see that he's never been below 90 pitches this season. The problem is he's only hit north of 100 once. Yeah. So you're not expecting that monster outage. But like we said before, we touched on it with the walk rate is so minimal, that his command is so good that you should be able to get 7 solid innings out of this guy, even in the 90s pitch count. And I think the strikeouts will be there. So I think he's a phenomenal play. I mean, all of these are just tip-top matchups for all these guys. I think, you might downgrade Arizona from the strikeout perspective, but if they're going to strike out a lot, if they're facing Walker Buehler every night, just like if they faced Scherzer the other night.
I'm trying to figure out what this. You said Leba or Leba? What do you go? What's your official answer?
It's Leba.
Why are you putting that?
I haven't, indeed. I don't even know who this guy is. All right.
I don't know who it is either. We're discovering him together. But yeah, I'm curious what he, how much he struck out in the minor leagues. That kind of stuff matters to me. So let's see if he's a big strikeout guy, because is this his major league debut? If we just missed him along the way, I couldn't tell you. He's 25 years old. Let's see in the minors, the bat projection system. You guys know the bat. WRC plus 84 going forward. That's 16% worse than the average hitter. Whatever his K is actually only 18%. So he's a contact hitter for what it's worth. Didn't strike out a ton in the minors either, but not very good. But like, we work our way down. There are still some more, like some other options I think that are, reasonably appealing. You tell me, you go with it, because I think it's kind of a cluster. Alzolay, if you catch Alzolay on the right night, he's a guy that can strike out 10, assuming he can harness his control. And also the conditions are really positive there for pitching in Wrigley. I was looking at the weather edge, at least before the show. It was telling me that it suppresses some runs today. We're looking at 59 degrees, and the wind kind of a crosswind kind of blowing in the home plate / third base. Yeah, Alzolay feels like a wild card. What say you?
I mean, we talk about harnessing his control, but he's only given up 2 walks over his last 3 starts.
Yeah.
So his control seems pretty good right now. I know his longer track record is a little shaky from last year, but he's a young kid figuring out. He still only has 5.7% walks on the season. He's got a 29% K percentage, a nice swinging strike rate at 14.3%, the second highest on the slate. This guy does get swing and misses. He's got swing and miss stuff. And the only problem is the matchup isn't, I guess it's probably a little bit tougher Washington, but these guys will strike out for sure. So I like him. His price is nice. He's kind of the pivot off Kikuchi, I would imagine, but I think he's really cheap on FanDuel.
Yeah, he's a pretty reasonable price over there in FanDuel. And Max Fried in the small sample this year has been super unlucky if you fire up the numbers. But his batting average on balls in play, his BABIP is what we're talking about, 391. That's super unlucky. That speaks to his ERA being 6.55 and his Sierra is 4.20. And all that despite the fact his hard hit percentage is the lowest amongst everybody on the slate. I'm talking about everybody at 22.1%. Again, the small sample, just 22 innings. But I think Fried is kind of sort of somewhat interesting. Keuchel, I'm just not playing. Like that's not enough strikeouts for me. Like there's no way I'm going to play some Keuchel. I'm more likely to pick on him, although he's tough to pick on because he gives up so many ground balls. J-Hap, we're not playing J-Hap tonight. Patrick Sandoval, we're not playing. I think John Gray is kind of interesting.
I like that. I don't mind it.
So it's a positive park, right? He's been better of late for what it's worth. You get to pick on Yu Darvish throwing baseballs, and Yu Darvish, as good as he is at throwing baseballs, he's just as bad at hitting them. He's almost like automatic couple strikeouts there. You got to love that. Their lineup, but most likely is going to be without Tatis. It's going to be without Myers. I think it's a third guy it's missing as well, too. It's nothing official, but I think there's some COVID-related stuff where it's a weakened San Diego lineup. The win equity is not really there in theory. I guess a small little pinch, but lower than most because he's facing Darvish. But I think Gray is going to – I'm a John Gray truther. He's out of Coors. And the San Diego lineup, when it comes out, is not going to be good, I promise you. So, again, I don't know how much I need of him. And I don't even know if I'm playing him because I'm only playing a couple lineups. But if I make him 150 or 20, he's in the conversation.
Yeah, I like him. He's kind of my last pitcher I like. Did you mention Bumgarner at all?
No, but that Dodger lineup is probably not going to be the best Dodger lineup because they're dealing with some injuries as well. It's not out just yet. And Bumgarner, give him the props, man. We were burying him, and he's been better of late. You got to concede he's been better of late. I don't know if I'm playing him.
His velocity's up, which is crazy, and I mean he must be hitting the juice a little bit. That's maybe. I don't know. I can't say for certain.
You can't make allegations. Yeah, no. That's probably not something you should do.
All right, I didn't mean to go there. But I mean, just looking at his almost 28% K percentage is pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, the only thing would be. I'm not going to play him tonight. I'm going to be honest, but the reason would be for really low ownership, the fact that he's been pitching a lot better, and the fact that this will be a weak Dodgers lineup in comparison to what we're normally used to.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers lineup, the projected, they're Bellinger's still obviously in the DL. They lost the outfielder that used to play for Arizona. I'm losing off the top of my head. He's not playing with the DL.
Seager fractured his hand.
Yeah, Seager's not going to play. Pollock, thank you. Devin, look at that. Look how far Devin has come. He knows Pollock off the dome. Yeah, so like Will Smith is a good hitter, but batting fourth, then Chris Taylor, Noyes, Rowley, and Peters. That's it's not great. But, I still don't know if I want to pick on Betts and pick on Turner.
Is that how we pronounce it? Noise?
Noise. It's either noise or noisy. I think it's noisy.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's noisy. Yeah. I know I'm not selling it like you did, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. But like, I don't know how much I'm picking on Bumgarner, which like what's left. We'll talk about the bats soon enough, but there's a lot of good arms. John Lester revenge game, but like, come on, get out of here. He might pitch 7 innings and throw 1 strikeout and be okay.
The people want you to touch on Casey Mize.
War Eagle. I'll tell you.
Or is it the Miz? Is it the Miz?
It is not the Miz. It is not the Miz, and he is not awesome. He's going to be awesome one day, Casey Mize, a former number 1 pick, but not today, I don't think. And I'm more likely to play Seattle. I'm going to play Kelnick on the other side, much like I think the rest of the world's going to play Kelnick. He's not been fully adjusted as far as his asking price, especially on DK. But, Mize is okay. But it's not this slate is the problem, because there's is he going to beat out John Gray and Max Fried and all those guys? I don't think so at that tier. That's sort of my thought process.
So I think he's like close. So the thing about Fried is the pitch count worries me too. He's been working his way back off of the IL. He's looked a lot better since coming off the IL. He did work.
You
up
sure it's not Fried? Is it Fried or Fried?
I don't know.
It's definitely Fried. I'm just going with go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
89 pitch count in his last one, so maybe he goes up more. But you do have to worry about pitch count a little bit with him. You definitely have to worry about it with Mize. So Mize, they've already talked about how they're going to shut him down early this season, and they've even already talked about potentially limiting his pitch counts going forward. Recently, they haven't put anything in stone, but I would be worried about this pitch count every time he starts, even though he has gone 95 and 96 in his last 2. But I just did hear some rumblings in an article about them potentially bringing that back down a little bit. And so
why would he pitch game 155 this year? Like when Detroit's so far out of it, like there's no point. Like that makes a lot of sense. Well, of course you shut him down.
Yeah. So anyway, and their bullpen is terrible. So, I'm with you with the Seattle stack. So, that's a bullpen we want to attack. And man, I wish I kind of want to go after Atlanta too tonight from the bat side with the Mets. But although I don't expect that they're going to do a lot of damage initially, it's just their bullpen is just so bad once you crack into that. So I don't know.
Yeah, Taijuan Walker has been really lucky. There's no other way to say it. His home run to fly ball rate, Taijuan Walker 2.8%. His ERA is 2.2, and congratulations to him. His BABIP is 2.21, and all that adds up to an xFIP of 4.13 and a Sierra 4.42. He's been getting hit hard as well too, 32% hard hit rate. So, yeah, if anybody's thinking about Walker, I'm not sure. I don't have the chat open right this second. Devin's all over. He's compiling your questions. Feel free to fire off your questions. We'll be answering the last 15 minutes of the show. We're getting the sticks in just a second, but yeah, we didn't mention Walker, but I have no interest in Walker. I think it's been pretty fluky. Like, good for him, former talent, and he's kind of making things work, but I'm not buying into it, basically. Is that sort of my thought process? Do you feel the same as far as Walker?
Yeah, the only thing would be is there's upside in this matchup for him because of there's only 2 lefty bats that are in the lineup tonight. So that's what he struggles more with. It would be Freeman and Albies. The rest are the right-handers. So he, and that Mathis and Heredia are not the best sticks there. And Austin Riley is a big strikeout candidate. So I think that bottom of the lineup definitely works in his favor for sure.
Yeah, no Darno really hurts that lineup too. He's out for the foreseeable future, I think, with a thumb or whatever it is. He got a body part. That's unfortunate. But yeah, Jeff Mathis is just a terrible hitter, obviously. So that does make him look a little bit better. But again, for me, it's just like not this slate, and it's just you're not getting a big savings. So what's the point? Is sort of my approach. Give me the summary as far as the arms. Talk bats in a second. Talk some stacks and enough, and then again, we're going to turn it over to the chat and see what they have to say.
Okay, so sorry, I was getting caught in chat. So are we starting at catcher?
No, just summarize pitching if you don't mind. Like take 30 seconds.
Summarize pitching. So sorry. So I mean, it's the clear top is Garrett Cole, just from the strikeout perspective. Yu Darvish would not surprise me if with this matchup against Rockies on the road. Rocky Road is what match we want to target all year. Wouldn't shock me if he goes toe to toe with him or is the top arm of the slate. Walker Buehler is certainly there too in a good matchup against Arizona. You know, both of those two guys are in the National League where you get the pitcher spot. That certainly works to their favor. Arizona is pretty anemic offense in general. They do get the bat on the ball a lot. So the strikeouts, maybe he doesn't have just as high a strikeout upside, but I think he does in general. So I'm good with all those guys. Kikuchi, I would not be shocked if he's the top arm on the slate tonight. It's all about hit or miss with matchup with this guy. He does throw heat. This is a great matchup for him. He's at home. I expect him to do really well. He's a steal on DK, but the ownership's going to be a problem there. But I do like him on FanDuel where he's just overpriced. And so I don't think many people are going to play him over there. That's kind of where I'm going. Alzolay is cheap on FanDuel, also reasonable on DK. He brings some strikeout upside for sure. I'm not messing around with anyone else, really. I could make a case for John Gray. Dean made a case for John Gray. I could definitely see that working out. I don't love it, but I'm fine with it, especially if you're trying to win that $5 GPP or the $4 on FanDuel tonight. You know, taking some stance with him would be probably plus EV, but that's about it for pitching.
Kevin Ross, Weather Edge, 102 game sample for the Cubs based on the particular weather that they have right now. We have a negative 22.5% expectancy as far as homers and a negative 13% as far as runs, a negative 12.7% as far as ERA. Just got a couple lineups. The Yankees lineup is out. No Stanton. Higashioka, the personal caddy there for Cole, is catching, but Sanchez is DHing. So both catchers are playing. LeMahieu leading off, Voit, Judge, Urshela, Sanchez, Brett Gardner, who is just so dusty. He is awful. Frazier, Higashioka, Wade. Mariners lineup is out as well. Kelnick leading off, no surprise there. Haniger, Seager, Lewis, Crawford, Mamalejos, Murphy, Haggerty, and then Walton. Catcher, I think one of the ways to save some salary today and catcher, when you're forced to roster a catcher, is it's Higashioka, 3.4K. That's my favorite one, you know, as far as money. If you don't have salary is not an issue. I'm okay with Mitch Garver versus the lefty there, Keuchel, despite the fact Keuchel does not give up a ton of homers, and Contreras leading off versus Lester, which is, I like seeing that. And let's have why not have Contreras lead off?
That's another pitcher who's been extremely lucky this season so far is Lester.
Yeah, he might get lucky again tonight because the ballpark is helpful and whatever, but he's still not going to strike out more than 4, so I can't play him. Talk to me about catcher.
Sure. I mean, I do like the Stevie TPFL morning grind catcher versus your old pitcher against Lester. Wilson Contreras, 5K leading off. He gets the platoon leading off. You have to like that. I think Will Smith is a great play against Bumgarner for home run upside. You're on Mercedes, girthy guy, been pretty good with the stick this season, batting cleanup 4,600, looks like a nice price. Easy. I mean, he's going to be popular because I think the White Sox are going to be a pretty popular stack. But
do you think people are pushed off him in some way with Abreu being out? Is that not enough?
No, I just think it makes it easier now with stud pitching.
Yeah, I mean, last time out, if you care about such things, Hap got absolutely shellacked against this Chicago team. There's a certain theory out there that Chicago is good against lefties. You know, of course, Abreu is one of the reasons why. But, I do like the White Sox a good bit. But, you know, Abreu was one of my top targets as well as far as big spends. I was thinking like Abreu, Trout, Freeman, and there's one more, a Judge. Like, I'm not really sure how many of those I can get, but those are like my favorite bats as far as a slate if salary wasn't a thing. Jump to first base.
And I forgot, I didn't mention Mitch Garver because when he's facing a lefty, you got to throw him in there potentially. First base. Okay. We've got Luke Voit for home run upside. The cheap as can be on FanDuel, a little overpriced on DK, but you can still make it work. Freddie Freeman is probably the top guy against Walker from just the overall projection. You have to like him coming off of a nice grand slam the other day. Pete Alonso, I like with the platoon there. I think no one's going to really play Shohei Ohtani, but Henkes. How do you pronounce this? The pitcher for
I'm
Cleveland?
not sure, but the key to that one is the bullpen there. I believe their bullpen is all right-handers.
Yes, and he doesn't go very long, this guy. So you're going to get to that bullpen pretty quickly in this one. So Shohei probably might get overlooked from that standpoint. Man, I had a big bet on the Red Sox the other day, who was bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. They gave up a single. They were up by 1, gave a single to Trout, and then Shohei went yard to crush me. Anyways, I don't know who else other than that. I mean, Max Muncy potentially, with his he likes hitting against Bumgarner.
Does he?
Yeah. Remember when he went deep into the water and they got into it?
Yeah, he said like go get it, right? Like he hit in the water.
Yeah.
He's like, now go get it. It was amazing. I remember that. That was an awesome moment because
and then he did it again, and then he hit out another one.
Bumgarner's so ornery, man. He's the most ornery player in baseball. Maybe Josh Donaldson too. Both those guys just seem like they're angry about everything at all times. Anything else of note here at first base, or shall I move on and talk about the keystone position, second base?
Go for it.
Well, I'm going to throw it your way. Second base, certainly Albies, but he's pretty pricey. I don't know if I can get there at 5K. Of course, you can do it in tournaments. DJ LeMahieu, again, another guy that's kind of pricey on DK, a much more feasible price there on FanDuel. If you want to flat out punt it, Madrigal is kind of sort of, he's not a great bat, but he is batting second versus J Happ and one of the offenses we like. So he's kind of sort of somewhat interesting just to kind of make other stuff work. But what I'm seeing is second base as a whole is kind of it's kind of trashy. Cronenworth, is he second base on FanDuel?
Yeah.
I think it's like 2.4 or 2.6, and I like that.
I like him on DK too at 4,200. It's fine I know it's you kind of want there's nothing really exciting here at this position. So going with Madrigal for 3K seems like a cash play for sure. But Cronenworth is definitely a guy who's got some pop. Great, can give up the long ball. So you have to like that. I guess Noisy, however
I think it's Noisy. I'm pretty sure it's Noisy.
Depending if he makes the lineup, which I expect him to do, I'm thinking about playing him on Yahoo tonight because he's the min price. He's 2,600 on DK. I'm waiting for a lineup to see, but I'm basically just trying to save money or play Cronenworth tonight.
We lost Dylan Moore. I thought he was going to play baseball for us tonight, but he's not. Donnie Watson is batting 9th for Seattle, but Dylan Moore is better and was basically the same price. Second base is bad, and it's a good place to save salary because it doesn't feel like there's a ton of opportunity costs. Is basically the point. But
so I mean, if you really want to go down, Kim would be the ultimate salary saver at 2,200.
Yeah, like if everything else works for me, I'm okay just flat out punting it and just hoping for a hit and a run or something like that. And you never know; these guys are professionally trained; they can hit homers.
Stolen base. You just got a stolen base in his last game.
These things can happen. Let's jump to the hot corner. It's the third base.
Peraza is back in our lives. 2,300 batting 6th.
Okay.
Jose Peraza. I could get behind that.
Sure. Why not?
All right. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I feel like Fried is a guy you can run on. That's something I want to check, but I'm fairly certain, at least at once upon a time, he was somebody you can run on a good bit. And Jeff Mathis feels like an old dude that you probably can run on as well. Like, isn't Mathis like 35?
Stolen base ratings are extremely low on Fried.
They're low?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe something's changed, or maybe my memory is fading. Who knows? My eyes are good. My memory is shot. That's what we've learned so far in this show. Third base, what do you have for me?
Third base, we're going to want some good production out of this one. I like Kyle Seager tonight, 4,500. He's probably not the top play. I think Moncada is a solid play. DJ LeMahieu, Gio Urshela, Justin Turner with the platoon there. All these guys. Jose Ramirez. I mean, you want to talk about home run to fly ball rates. Sandoval, maybe he's extremely unlucky, or maybe he's just extremely bad. I'm not quite sure which it is yet, but 42.9% home run to fly ball so far.
Well, that's 7 innings. So let's stretch it back to last year.
Correct,
last year's 44 innings. Okay, so stretch it back to last year in 44 innings, it's 34%.
Yeah, so insane. I think he's just bad is what it is.
That's silly.
So Jose Ramirez has to have monster upside in that spot tonight. Then any of these guys, any of these big boppers, you got Rendon against the lefty. You've got Josh Donaldson against the lefty. You've got Machado, and that's about it.
By the way, you mentioned Seager. We talked about Kelnick. We'll talk about in the outfield in a second. Just worth noting, and Mize, we don't really know how deep he's going to go. There are 3 lefties lurking in that pen for Detroit, just for whatever it's worth. Doesn't mean you can't play the lefties, but they might have to face a lefty at some point along the way. I'm not sure if you mentioned Rendon, but I'm good with Rendon. I assume he's going to crack that lineup. And Ramirez, it's just tricky. He's really expensive, but yeah, you do want to pick on Sandoval. It's just, I don't know how you stack Cleveland. Like that Cleveland team is just, I mean, it's basically 2 or 3 guys and everybody else is just awful. No lineup just yet, but I love Ramirez. I love Franmil Reyes.
And you can do Luplow, Ramirez, Franmil, Rosario, even potentially for the bullpen.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, there's some upside in that, especially for those prices for 2, 3, 4, 5.
Knock out the shortstop.
Allegedly upside.
You have to add allegedly.
Yeah. Tim Anderson, BVP play of the day. Head Chopper is going to be all in on this one again. He's got 2 homers and 19 at bats against J Hap. Hap, I think, is just winding down in his career. I just do not think he's very good. So he's a guy that I want to attack anyway. So I like that play. Let's see who else. Man, who else? I mean, who else is that? There's Trey Turner, but Alzolay is so much better against right-handed bats from a strikeout perspective. Maybe I don't know. Does Rosario make the lineup tonight?
I don't know. I pulled up Fried. I was curious about his stolen bases. Give him 11 stolen bases in 303 innings in his career. So, yeah, it's not a ton, obviously. Anderson, for what it's worth, 11 for 19, 2 homers, a triple, 5 strikeouts. So if he's hitting the ball, he's getting a hit. He did swipe a bag as well, too. I like to know the guy is willing to steal a bag on a certain pitcher, too. I'm not a big BBP guy, and I look at exit velocity stuff more as far as matchups, but it probably matches up. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Anybody else that's of note as far as shortstop? You mentioned Turner, and I love playing Turner. I play Turner more than anybody else, especially if he's on the road. He can get there multiple ways. He's going to have those 5 at bats, almost definitely. He's got the speed, he's got the stick. But I'm probably not playing him tonight for the reasons that you said. It's like the ballpark's not great, and Alzolay has been good versus righties, and that's it. And I don't really love Washington, and doesn't mean he can't get there, but I'm probably not playing him tonight.
Yep. Lindor, who's been horrendous.
So bad.
Just, really, really kills you on Yahoo because you just have to play this guy at this price.
Is he still $7 on Yahoo?
I think he's like up to 10 now, but I mean, you just still have to keep playing this guy. It's just horrendous.
I took down second the other night about a week ago in a tournament with a Lindor homer on Yahoo.
Yeah, that was he had his 1 homer.
I had it. That was me. And I got second because I guess nobody else was playing him. Everybody's like, no, I can't do it. But yeah. By the way, he's Mr. Smile. I remember asking a question, you were on air, that he's nicknamed Mr. Smile. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, you and Chopper were doing a show and I asked a question about Mr. Smile, and your guys were like, I don't know what Dean's talking about. Nah, wave. I was asking about Lindor. I was just trying to be cute about it.
We weren't listening, Dean.
Yeah, that's understood. Give me some outfielders before we bring Devin on. Again, fire off some questions there.
Javier Baez. So basically, I do like Baez. He's overpriced, but Lester so Baez just has terrible plate discipline. But when he makes contact, he has some of the best batted ball stats in the game when he actually makes contact. So Lester has not been a strikeout pitcher at all. You have to assume he's going to be making some contact tonight. So I do like that. I do like Baez as a low-owned, high upside play. And the thing is, like, if he gets on base, he's gonna try to steal, especially against Lester. Like he just tries to pad his stats with steals, so you have to like that for your guy. But you don't like when he starts swinging way when those sliders that just in the dirt way outside that get him.
He's one of those guys, like you're watching as a bats, and if it's like he swings out at an 0-1, you already know it's over. It's like, okay, just 2 more and it's over. Like he's gonna keep going every single time. I hate rostering him and watching him because it's so bad. But yeah, like you say, if you throw him a strike by accident, he's going to crush it like 500 feet. And it's just going to be amazing. And like, why don't we play this guy every single time? Just don't throw him strikes. Give me some outfielders. We got to bring Devin on.
Outfielders, the man, the myth, the legend, Kelnick, for sure. I remember, I think when I was doing a chop that night when he hit the homer, I was like, I'm just going to play him in every single lineup until this guy double dongs like he's supposed to. Yeah, that was a nice game for him. But he's still too cheap for the talent, the upside, the matchup at 3K. His ownership's going to be popping. He's no secret anymore, which kind of stinks. But You can differentiate all you want. Garlick leading off has really good batted ball numbers, at least so far against left-handers. It's a guy who's got some pop. 2,400 leading off looks like a solid play. These are the cheap guys I'm looking at. Andrew Vaughn is too cheap for sure. So I'm starting with cheap guys because that's kind of where the pitching, the high end up pitching is, you're going to need some of these bats. So that's why I'm talking about them first. But Andrew Vaughn has just been unbelievable so far, and he's just getting no credit.
He's been unlucky.
Yeah, but he's also been pretty good in general too.
Yeah, but I think he's just one homer, if I'm not mistaken. Actual home runs. I think it's just one, unless I missed one. He's got plenty of power.
But great barrel rate, great StatCast numbers, great OPS. This guy's making good contact, so that's why he's 2,400. He's batting fifth, and you gotta like that. Taylor Ward might, maybe they lead him off again. This guy sucks, but
don't get me started, man.
He's either gonna bat cleanup or first, and you're gonna feel obligated to play him at that price. But I would prefer Justin Upton. Hopefully he makes the lineup tonight. I think he will. But 2.8K, I really like that for home run upside. Now, if we're going to the top of the top, Aaron Judge, who's hotter than Aaron Judge right now? I mean, his StatCast stuff is unbelievable too, but 5,600, you can still make it work. Acuna's back in our lives, 6,300. That's a little difficult, but doable with some of these cheapies. Juan Soto, these are the high-end guys I like the best. And kind of the mid-tier that I'm looking at is Franmil. I think he's gonna hit a bomb tonight off Sandoval. This is about as good a home run matchup as you can get for him. So I don't know how old he's going to be. I think he's going to pick up more steam than what I see it so far. But if he is going to be projected low ownership, man, sign me up.
Average exit velocity in the season, Franmil is number 7. Of course, Stanton and Judge are 1-2 because of course they are. Stanton not playing baseball tonight. Let's bring Devin on. Devin's been compiling some questions. I think we got 9 minutes or so, give or take. We might have lost a few along the way. What up, Devin?
That's that UCF math.
Yes, it is that UCF math. And also wanted to mention, Devin, on Friday is free crunch time. We tease crunch time later on today. If you guys are premium members, you got Dave Potts, 2-time millionaire winner. Cheese is good, talking some baseball. You got Tuttle talking some baseball. You have Roth talking some weather. Chief meteorologist Kevin Roth. And on Friday, they're doing Big Brain, sponsored by Big Brain. They're going to be playing Big Brain after lock, free crunch time. And how do you go about doing that? What is Big Brain? It's basically a marriage between HQ Trivia and DFS with very, very specific topics, such as examples may be. These aren't necessarily going to be the ones on Friday. Fair Food, the TV detectives, famous sports announcers, and Nick Cage movies. And Devin, we don't have time for nonsense, but I am curious.
Nick Cage movies. That's
Devin,
deep.
What's Devin's favorite Nick Cage movie?
Oh, geez. My favorite Nick Cage movie. That's one that I don't know if I have offhand.
And it could be an ironic answer if you ironically on air.
All right. What was it? The one where he was the motorcycle.
What about he's the greatest drunk of all time?
Leaving Las Vegas.
Yes.
Ghost Rider. That's what it was called, right?
That was terrible though, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
Dean, it was good and terrible.
You want me to find the good one?
He had some good movies. The Face Off was. They're making a prequel to Face Off or a sequel to Face. They're making a new Face Off. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Do you have an answer for that, Curtis, by chance?
No, Leaving Las Vegas is the nuts.
There you go. I wonder if the chat has an answer for that. You have questions for us, Devin?
I do. Drop your favorite Nicolas Cage movie in chat. Hit the like button. We're gonna get to some QQs. Somebody drop in Wicker Man. That's hilarious. We'll have to touch on that.
Matchstick Man
one.
Is underrated. I don't know if you've seen. Nobody's seen it, but Matchstick Man's pretty good.
We're gonna have to go into an immediate lightning round here. Stan wants to know. We're gonna bounce back and forth. Okay. So Kirk.
Okay.
DK tournament. Stan wants to know. Stacked Angels count the green.
Yeah, I like Angels as a stack tonight for sure.
Dean, how do you feel about the cheap Dodgers hitters today?
Indifferent. I'm not seeking him out, but if one happens to make things work for me, so be it. But I'm not looking for him. Yeah.
Big T's Burner, Lord of War. All right, we did find a good one. That was actually a good one. I remember seeing that one in theaters.
Little arms dealer.
Yeah. Frederick, Freed, worth a look. Yeah, we touched on that one. Rich wants to know, stack the Tigers. Look at the BVP. Kirk, you got the BVP numbers?
What's
I
Chop
don't.
say about stacking the Tigers? We're
I
not
mean,
stacking the
is Chop going to be all in on this one too?
No.
Somebody
Kikuchi's been in the league for how many years? Come on. What's the sample size here?
So
And
we
he's
got
also been
good.
better.
We got. I don't see a single home run. Oh, I have 5 plated. Let me put 1 plate.
Jake Rogers is 1 for 2 with a homer. So lock in Jake Rogers. Come on. No.
Eric wants to know twin stack. White Sox pitching is horrible.
I don't know who that's for, but I'll answer it. The tricky thing is Keuchel's not good. His K rate, I believe this year, his K rate is 10%, which is bad. That's a really bad percentage. The tricky part with picking on Keuchel is he doesn't get many fly balls, so you're not going to get many 3-run homers. But, if you get a collection of balls in the hole, sure. And also, did we mention Nelly Cruz facing a lefty? And the price is actually pretty good. That Minnesota lineup is not spectacular. The top end's perfectly fine.
I heard there was some Cruz BVP there too. Yes, we are in lightning round. A friend of the show, KC, looked it up. Roof is closed in Texas.
Thank you.
Eric J, with no Miami on the slate, always bringing the Marlins stat question. Can I play Texas Detroit stacks as leverage on DK?
I have a thought on the Texas side.
I mean, you can. I think you want to get just the home runs in Texas, but like I think Dean's going to say that. Like Gallo, maybe David Dahl. If you really want to get spicy, the Cuban Missile, Adolis Garcia. But I don't think you need to do a full stack. But I mean, certainly there is leverage there for sure.
Yeah, I think you could pick off a couple of the lefties, and like you said, Gallo. And again, I think you can play Gallo in the same lineup as Cole. Like, it's not the worst idea. I know people just hate the idea, but it's not that Gallo's expensive, and he homers and strikeouts 3 times. It's fine. It's fine on both ends. And Cole's probably going to give up a homer because that's what he does to the left side, but he'll also strike out 10 dudes.
All right, Morningwood, Kirk, of the top 7 Chicago White Sox hitters, which ones would you fade in a stack? If you need that, I've got that up.
Madrigal. Number 2, but I'm fine using him. But if I had to throw one out, it would be him or Garcia.
All right. Dean, Richie wants to know, do you lean more Chicago White Sox twin stack or Washington Chicago's Cub stack on both sides? Out of those 2 games, which ones?
I don't like the way that question's framed because it's suggesting that you have the game stack, and you don't have the game stack. Like,
somebody's been reading the musings.
Like, I know what they're getting at. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're going to force me to pick a game, it's clearly the Chicago-Minnesota side over the Washington-Chicago side. Ballpark reasons, lineup reasons. I don't want Lester, but I think Lester kind of survives today. And I mean, assuming Owsley doesn't walk the world, I think he's going to be fine too. So I prefer the bats as a collection in Chicago, Minnesota, as opposed to Washington, Chicago. But you don't have the game stack. Maybe it's just fun to just watch one game and just root for hitting. Maybe that's what's going on there.
I can only see the game stack argument in so much as ballpark factors and weather factors. Otherwise,
sure.
Yeah, it's not the same. Kurt,
yeah.
FanDuel Cash, Ryan wants to know Crawford or Swanson.
Try again.
Dansby Swanson or JP Crawford?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
If you had to choose.
Swanson, I guess.
Swanson, but not like it. Dean, FanDuel Cash, 2v2, Lindor, Frazier, or Crawford. Is it Kelnick or Kellenick?
Yeah,
Kelnick.
It's the Kelnick side.
All right. Kirk.
2 syllables. Just remember that.
Kelnick.
2 syllables.
There you
That's
go.
what I tell everyone.
I'm going to lock it in. Kirk, John wants to know DK core of Cole, Cruz, Ozzy Albies, Grossman, and Tim Anderson. What are your thoughts?
Love it. I love Tim Anderson. So, like, that's his core. He wants me to say if I like it or don't like it?
Right, yeah. Give it the old thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, for sure.
You like Grossman?
He
was in there.
He's in there. Yeah, snuck him in there.
Sorry, I think he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. But
that's a pretty solid core outside of Grossman. If you need,
Yeah.
You got to drop down somewhere. Dean, FanDuel Cash, DJ LeMahieu or Kelnick?
Oh man, I'm probably playing both. But oh man, I don't like that question because LeMahieu is too cheap on FanDuel. He's leading off. He's on the road. He's gonna get those 5 ABs in Texas. I know the roof's closed, but still. My heart says I'm gonna play both, almost definitely. But if you're gonna force me to pick, LeMahieu is safer. Kelnick's got a higher ceiling.
Tons of good suggestions for Nicolas Cage movies.
I love to hear him.
The Rock was actually, I keep forgetting about that one. There's,
Sure.
I give Nick Cage some crap, but he's got a few under his belt, just a few. So somebody in chat wants to know, why does FanDuel not love their users and make their payout structures better? Why are they so top heavy?
I would say DK's worse.
I think they're both terrible.
DK has some really unplayable contests tonight, and you got to play the single entry stuff. And again, download the Rotogrinders Google Chrome extension. I'm telling you, it'll make your world easier as far as telling you what percent is going to first, what percent is going to the top 10. I want a flat payout. That's what I want. I won't play your contest if you have 33% going to the top. Like, I won't do it. I have a ticket in this stupid $5 contest on DK, and I think I'm going to have to play it because I have a ticket. But it's like 70,000 and 20K going to first. I don't want to play that. Begrudgingly, I'm entering it just because I have a ticket. But yeah, I agree. I wish that they gave flatter payouts to bigger contests. But general rules, Kirkies, you can give a thought on this too. But general rules is that the single entry or the 3 entry, you're going to have better payouts.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're at the end of the show, Dean. So you want to go ahead and take us home?
Yeah, now that I'm all fired up, man, after that rant. I mean, I'm very I agree with whoever was talking about that. And I wouldn't just single out FanDuel for what it's worth. If you guys are premium members, stick around. If you're not premium members, why not? Get yourself $10 off first month. Just one sport, all the sports, however you want to do it. All those sports with the exception of NASCAR, of course. Link dropped in chat. Stay tuned for Mr. Tuttle. Stay tuned for Kevin Roth, Chief Mineralogist. Stay tuned for Cheese is Good, 2-time millionaire winner. Also the author of The Musings, which is required reading. That was Kirk Dees. That was Devin. This was baseball. Hit the like button on your way out. We do appreciate that. It helps keep the proverbial lights on. I was Dean. We're out of here. Over.